Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Cinema Smoketography. I am Tommy Atomic Rodriguez, your friendly neighborhood hookahologist. Joining me as usual is producer man Isaac.
What's going on, everybody?
Well, welcome to the new set. We're trying something new out. We may not keep it like this. We may switch a little bit on the couch, but Cinema Smoketography is back and we're doing our very first drama movie. Now, I'm a big fan of sports movies. What about you?
I'm a huge fan of sports movies.
Really? What's your favorite?
Fuck, there's too many.
Mine
Carter, probably?
Mine's a cut between Coach Carter and Remember the Titans.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
That one's a great one. I love every time when someone's like, "Can I have water? Water? Water's for the weak. Water is for cowards. Don't tell me drink water, but you want blood on my uniform. Boy, you do not want blood on my uniform. You must be out your monkey ass mind." But we are going to be talking about Ben Affleck's newest movie. It got little to no recognition because COVID-19 destroyed the world.
Yep.
The Way Back. The Way Back featuring Ben Affleck, the alcoholic Catholic basketball
I thought it
coach.
was Christian.
You know what? It's a Catholic school, and they're trying to say that it's Christian, and I caught that way early on. Like, how are you going to say father? Oh, welcome to the mascot.
They call him Padre.
Yeah. Ares, the Greek cat of war, is the official mascot of Cinema Smoketography. Say hi, Ares.
We have a guest already with us.
I know, get over there. So, The Way Back. Now, this is a very interesting movie, and I think it's a very, what's the word? It's very, I wouldn't say it's inspirational like other sports movies like Miracle or anything else like that. It's a very realistic movie of how everything kind of happens with his alcoholism throughout the movie.
Yeah, I feel like it's like ties in more like giving people more of awareness that it's like this guy's straight up alcoholic who has a problem, a really really big problem due to circumstances in his life that just put him on the wrong track, and it's like I feel like it's more realism to the sense that this could happen to anybody in this world right now.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Uncut Gems. And Uncut Gems got a lot of hate because we all know Adam Sandler as a comedic guy, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people didn't like him in it because it was so real. And I personally loved it. I watched Uncut Gems, and I'm gonna get real for a minute. I got my own problems with my own addictions with things, and watching this movie and Uncut Gems itself was realistic to me because I guess I got a good handle of what my problem is.
Yeah.
But if I didn't start looking for help as soon as I did, I would be going down the path they were going, right? Because the first scene in this movie is Ben Affleck cracking open a beer in the fucking shower. And that was just like really impactful, and you can see his problems with everything.
Yeah.
Because he's the coach. Before he even becomes a coach, we get a very sense of what's going on because he goes to, Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it starts off with him on the construction site.
Yeah. So once he goes with his family, he's grabbing a case of booze.
Yeah, he literally is in the liquor store and spends $67 on liquor for himself only.
Yeah.
And it's just holy crap. And he's like, at first I thought when he met that guy that recognized him telling him, he's like, you're going to go to, what are you doing for Turkey Day and all that stuff. He's like, the sister, blah, 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 blah. And then I was just like...
I thought it was going to cut to him just drinking.
Yeah, just going home and just lied, I'm just going to lie to him and tell him, I'm going to go do this. But he actually went to his sister's house.
Yeah.
And he's so, different when he's there. But
compared to when he's at home.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like he's living a double life.
It's like he's a hero to all of his nephews and stuff and nieces.
But he's got a lot of issues.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of personal demons.
Yeah.
Because it didn't dawn on me right away because they were talking about his ex-wife, right? And they've been separated for almost a year. You find out in a couple other scenes, but he is, kind of coping with the fact that he lost his son due to cancer.
And it's not really addressed until halfway towards the movie.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on for the most part. I'm like, okay, he's got some problems. Maybe his alcoholism ruined his ruined his marriage.
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of laid up to at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then as the movie continues, you can see what the real problems are and how what the connection he has to these kids. But you know what? Before we go any further, we need to address two things.
What's up?
What are we smoking today? I am smoking a beautiful bowl of Baja's London Fog in the Avian Stick Hookah. Housewarming gift to myself because, fuck it, why not? Isaac, I mixed a bowl of Azure mango cheesecake in the blonde line with a hint of Zumerit's Blue Line blueberry muffin.
Bomb, by the way.
Thank you, sir. I take
You're
part in
welcome.
that. I made that mix and I thought it was fucking great.
It's fantastic.
Thank you. So there was that. Then our unofficial sponsor of Cinema Smoketography is Tea Time. Thank you, ladies, for making us an amazing tea once again. We have both a honey lemon tea made with jasmine and deliciousness. So back to the movie at hand. Now, I thought this scene was actually really interesting when he was addressed, because the father called him at home and he got the message and he's like, okay, why do I come here?
Yeah.
When he first addressed his son Michael, I thought it was like his dad
Yeah.
or someone, because you never hear anything about the dad throughout the entire movie either.
Yeah.
Until a little bit later, but I thought it was his dad, and him losing his dad was, the stress to his alcoholism. But he gets addressed by a Catholic school to, coach the basketball team because he went there when he was a kid.
Yeah, even before that though, he was like lying to people already, like saying like, "Oh, I left my phone at home," but I thought he was just like, "Oh, I have my phone, but I just didn't want to answer." No, he literally left his phone at home.
Yeah.
And just has it there. Which, by the way, does he ever charge his freaking phone? Cause like,
I've never seen him charge his
I
phone.
never seen him charge his phone.
It's like that thing with Fast and the Furious movies. You never see them pump gas.
Yeah. Right? Like, he had his phone, like, just chilling there the entire time. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just nitpicking bullshit here, but yeah, I'm just
we kind of, this is what we do. We
Yeah.
nitpick at everything.
Yeah, so I just thought it was kind of funny. I'm just like, so does he, like, ever charge his fucking phone?
Right?
Or, like, I don't know, I just thought it was a little weird, but yeah. And, like, where does this take place at? Like, because I saw
In
this...
Los Angeles.
No, but I meant, like, timeline-wise.
Oh, yeah, no, it's never really addressed.
I think it's 2017 because, the kid, his son died in 2017.
No, I don't think it's 2017. I think at least 2018, maybe even 2019. Because think about it, his son passed away in 2017.
True. I mean, it does take place in normal time.
Yeah, it does take place in normal time. It's fair enough to say it could be even 2020.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever the case is, it's still fairly recent. Right? It's not like it's not a period piece like Remember the Titans or even Coach Carter.
Yeah, because I think him and his wife got separated not too long after their son died. So.
Yeah. So it's not really addressed either, like what their timeline is, because she plays such a minimal role.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, like the way their relationship is, it was a little weird in a sense to me. Like, she kind of she kind of just like took off in a sense, like obviously because he started becoming a drunk, and he wasn't being the person that he should have been when he died, and all this other stuff. And it's addressed in the movie too, where he starts to apologize to her
at the very end,
and she just took it in a sense, but she probably played her part in not supporting him either.
And not trying to find him help or something.
And she goes on she talks to the sister brothers in a dress talking to him. And the only time she ever does end up talking to him is to tell him bad news every single time.
I know. And this movie, it has really good pacing. It really was a short movie.
Yes, it was
But
weird
it paced very well, I think.
Yeah, there were some things I felt like it was a little too rushed in a sense. Like, I feel like, I get it, you're trying to fit a whole bunch of crap into fucking an hour and 49 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I'm cool with it. I enjoyed the pace. It's like, but after a while, like, when he decided to stop drinking for a while and just kept on, he started getting...
He was doing really well.
Yeah, he was doing really well, and I was rooting for the guy, and I'm just like, yeah, because, he finally saw what he was doing, how it wasn't working anymore.
Yeah.
So once he finally decided and started winning, he was actually acting like a coach because he started giving a damn.
Yeah. Which was really cool. Like, when he first started, the first game he coached, I thought was fucking great. That was powerful to me. He's like, look, you want to have a chip on your shoulder, start acting like it. He started cussing at the kids. And
he was like...
Code of conduct, sir. Code of conduct.
What did they tell him? He was like, should have this is bullshit. Y'all playing like a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit how many fucking games you win or lose. I will not let you guys act like fucking pussies and all punked out by these fucking kids. It was hilarious.
It was, and then they just all took it. They were like, "Fuck, dude."
Yeah, and then they ended up started playing all aggressive and attacking the fucking students. I just thought it was like, damn, this guy is like.
He's motivational.
Yeah.
That was the most motivational speech in the entire.
And it's like it's cool how quick they took to him though. It's like you take Coach Carter or the other movies like that, and you're just
it took a
little bit of time, but at the same time,
Coach Carter I think actually had they were getting closer to him. I think the better example, in my opinion, would be Remember the Titans. Because think about it, Coach Boone was not liked at all. Yeah. Not just by the students, but by faculty. So when the students took to him, it took I think a month of training.
Yeah.
to really kind of change everything around.
Yeah, so it's not your typical basketball movie. It's more
Mhm.
based on a line. There's more to it. It's about addiction. It's about loss. It's about a lot of different things.
So it's not a basketball movie in a sense. It's a sense of making his way back.
Yeah.
I did it on
See what
purpose.
you
I did it on
there.
purpose.
See what you did there.
Yeah, thank you.
Love it.
So like the way back to being okay. So right when he was about to give a damn, like when after I think it was the first game, right? Like he
No, it was actually
no when he picked up Brandon.
yes.
It was after the first game.
No, it was a few games because they kept losing.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, so
I
when he
say
picked
about
up
maybe
Brandon.
yeah, because they've lost every single game up until maybe the fourth or fifth game,
Yeah, that's when they started winning.
and then he started realizing like, hey, like he noticed certain kids
Mhm.
who are more, who really want it more.
Yeah, you know what? Like the coolest thing I thought was because Marcus was the star. Everybody loved Marcus. Kenny's super funny too. Kenny's the player. I like that kid. So Marcus was the hot shot. Marcus was the star.
Yeah.
And then when he showed up 4 minutes late to practice, he's like, "All right, you can go. You can come back tomorrow." And then when he threw a fit, he's like, "You know what? You're off the team. Get off." And that's when I think he shook the kids. That's when he realized, like, look,
Yeah.
I'm not here to fuck around. I'm here to help you guys win. I get paid to do a job, and my job is to make sure you guys are not only winning games but respecting one another.
Yeah.
Because when they first met him too, he was clowning on everybody.
Yeah.
Marcus especially. They think you can't hit the ocean from the beach.
Yeah.
He's spitting facts at you, dog.
Yeah, like for real, and it's true though, and like Breaking Brandon for instance, for like I think he's a lot like him in a
Mhm.
sense, you know.
And he wants him to do really well.
Exactly, he wants him to succeed.
Mhm.
That's why he took a liking to him so fast, and seeing like he's the last one in the gym and he's still practicing while everyone else is left.
Yeah, that's why he made him captain too.
Yeah, exactly. So like the most committed, and you see such a big character development in Brandon especially.
Yeah.
From the first game he got to his team captain to the last game he was.
And he was quiet the whole time.
Yeah.
Like you're a point guard. You're supposed to be loud. Guys, did you hear him? No. You see how loud I am? That's how loud you need to be.
Yeah.
That to me was fucking great, and that was good coaching.
Yeah.
And then let's address the fact that with the birthday party.
Yeah.
This is where we start to kind of understand what kind of happened with Michael. When his friend introduced his son, be like, "You remember Michael?" You're like, you guys would push him around for Halloween and stuff, so we start to get a little bit more understanding.
Yeah.
Right?
And
then
then just watching his mannerisms and everything, how he is reacting to all the kids everywhere around
Mhm.
the playground, and you start to see him just start to break down in a sense where you start to really see him go, you know, and you can see him where he's pushing back to that edge again, where he's like, "Oh, I'm about to start drinking again,"
yeah.
and then he stops obviously, and he
Are
doesn't
you-
do it, but he's going through some relapses, and then after,
Which is hard, like
Yeah.
like I said, like I don't want to get too much into my own personal life, but addiction is hard, and especially to try to figure it out. And that's what I thought. Like when I was gonna watch this movie, I was gonna have a personal moment myself and relapse.
Yeah.
But I can understand. I think that's why I like this movie so much, because I have a personal understanding of what's going on
Yeah.
in his mind. Right. So it's very interesting to kind of see.
yeah, exactly, makes
So-
sense.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why like this and Uncut, like I'm gonna go back to Uncut Gems, like those two movies, like
Yeah.
that I've watched in the past month, really showed me like what addiction could do to you and makes me want to be
Exactly,
work
Adam
my
Sandler's
own
character
sobriety.
having an addiction to gambling and Ben Affleck's addiction to alcohol.
Yeah,
And it's just like, yeah, you see a lot of the things and how, you know, he's just a broken, damaged man who's just trying to make
it work for himself. Yeah, and it's one of those things where you just kind of have to, if you don't, like, is clearly, like I'm a little bit different from Ben Affleck, obviously.
Right.
First of all, not white, clearly dark, but still, like I can see it in him, like
You're white, you Ben Affleck.
you Ben Affleck. Role models. Adventures of the Movie Watcher. So it's a very interesting thing to see and see how he was like struggling with it so bad, and it really didn't get hard for him until very recently. And then once Marcus came back to the team too, he begged to be put back on the team. That which was remembrance of Coach Carter, when I forgot what his name was, but he wanted to come back on the team because basketball's all they knew, right? And you can see that's where another part of plot development kind of came in. Is like, look, these kids they're not just this is all they have.
Yeah, kind of like that asshole coach from Memorial, when he's like, you know, how do you feel about coaching these players? Like, oh yeah, I got assault. Like, a decent team or decent players. He's like, oh, what players? And I'm just like, oh, you fucking asshole.
Right. So like he can see it, and that's when he started pushing himself. And the team itself has a lack of players.
Yeah.
So Ben Affleck's approach to that, use it as an advantage, and that's where you kind of see where you were like we were saying earlier, he's starting to give a damn. So he made plays specifically for their lack of players. You push them. You make sure you get in their face. You do not let that ball. You see a ball with that's another 2 points. 2 points. 2 points. 2 points.
Especially because none of them were freaking like over 6 feet tall.
Exactly.
Yeah, they were all small guys, so they used defense as their main tactic, and they just basically took everything that was a disadvantage and made it an advantage by just trapping them.
Exactly.
And it was cool as shit to see because they were getting it. They were
exactly.
Like,
and then that's when their winning streak started because they didn't win a single game.
Yeah, they were on a losing streak for like 8 games, I think.
And then they just turned it all around when he started becoming coach.
Even tried to get a chance to make it to the playoffs, and because of what happened with his friend Miguel and their son, and him having whatever was wrong with him in the first place, having to watch that as the doctor told them that he was going to die. Had a big relapse memory.
Oh my god, that was the toughest thing because they addressed it a little bit, like he had a problem.
Yeah, and his ex-wife kind of pissed me off though, because she's like, "Where are you going?" Like, bitch, where the fuck do you think he's going? Like, first of all, like it pissed me off because she didn't go after him.
Yeah, she just let it happen.
Yeah.
And then like I think it's like the part where they visit his grave. And they have that real heart-to-heart moment.
Yeah, like, they didn't really even have a heart-to-heart moment. Like, he was literally just, like, there.
Well, okay, Ben was having an open moment.
Yeah, and
she wasn't. She's like, I don't know how to be happy. He's like, I haven't been happy since he died.
Yeah.
The best place for him is with us here.
And she agreed, but at the same time, this is, like, a moment for you guys to have some type of clarity with one another, or just in general, but yeah, you're just, like, and you decide to leave after he makes a smart comment to you about the fact that you're moving on here, but, honestly, which I think she was lying about.
Maybe.
But then again, I don't think you really because
I don't think they had no drive to the story, so
yeah.
I think they left that plot line dead as it is because for one, like it didn't make a difference in his story.
Yeah, and then
because this isn't a story about the kids. This is a story all about him and how he's coping with it. Right, so he is trying to be the best version of himself.
And when he found out that she's seeing somebody, he went into a big ol'...
He went into a spiral.
Yeah, he went into a big ol' spiral.
And then he had, like, I think one of the teachers saw him.
Yeah.
Right? And Doc had to, like, take him home. So there's a lot of tender moments in this movie.
Yeah.
Obviously the one where Ben's breaking down almost in every other scene.
Yeah.
But the fact that Ben is not only working on himself, but he's trying to do the best for his kids. Take Brandon's dad, for example. He has 3 kids.
Right.
That he's trying to take care of and help with homework.
And exactly, and he knows how good his son is because obviously, like, everyone talks about how good he is.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've been there already. College, like, basketball. Basketball isn't gonna get you what you think you're gonna get. Like, look at me. Like, I'm a fisherman, and my life is, whatever. It's not gonna. Basically, it's just because he didn't make it doesn't mean his son isn't gonna make it.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what Ben Affleck's character is trying to show him, that he can make it. He's not like us.
Yeah, and then that's another thing he threw in his face too. Anyone should know what it's like. It's you. I'm like, ooh, that I thought he was gonna break and have a drink after that, but
yeah, and it makes sense why he did it too, to spit in his dad's face for basically when he has the heart-to-heart with Brandon about the fact that the only reason why he didn't go to Kansas State for basketball was because he wanted to basically he didn't want his dad to be there anymore. Yeah. Because the only reason he was there in the first was because he was there for his talent.
Yeah, he wasn't there for Ben. He was there for his talent, and I think like that's another real fact of the matter too. Because a lot of we're watching All American.
Yeah.
Look at what happened with not Spencer, but what's the other guy's name? The white kid played Mike on Pretty Little Liars. Either which way, like even his dad didn't really love him until he played football. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's those kinds of things, and those show real stories.
It's kind of a typical cliche of the fact that, your dad, like some of like the movies or TV shows where the asshole dad only cares for the son because he has talent.
Yeah. But like, it's a cliche, but it's a cliche that's true.
Yeah, it's a common ground. I mean, I think you can relate to that in a sense where, you're not seeing eye to eye to your parents, but they see that you're accomplishing something, so all of a sudden now they're in the story. Like,
well, let's take this apartment, for example. Sorry, Mom. But like they didn't want to come to my other apartment, right? But now that I have a nice one, they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll spend Christmas here." Not a dig at my parents, but I'm just saying it's a little fishy, if you know what I mean. But still, like it's one of those things. Like when your parents see you successful, they're like, all right, let's see what we can get out of it. You know.
Yeah.
It's a very sad thing but it's out there.
Yeah.
But this movie is it was so interesting to watch. Like it's not your typical sports movie.
And you get
There
to
was so little sports about it. Then I think like if it was played off like Ben Affleck's a coach.
Yeah.
Right, and we thought it was gonna be like the next Coach Carter.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I first saw
Yeah.
the trailer. But when I started watching it, I realized it was way more than that.
Yeah, it's like you look at how much happier he gets each time they win a game,
And how proud he gets.
yeah, how
with
proud he
them.
is of these kids, and how he's just so like watching them just like laugh and be excited, and he's just cracking a smile and all that stuff, and he's just so happy and proud.
Exactly.
And it's like he needs that in his life. That's why he liked it, especially after when they find out that he's drinking again, and he brought alcohol into the gym.
That was the worst moment, and that was towards the very end where he had that real moment happen to him where he saw everything happen, and that was probably the most impactful scene in the entire movie. And you see how troubled he is, right? It's like, who's gonna, like, you're drunk? No, I'm not. You came in drunk. I had a power outage at my house. No, we can smell it. The kids smell it, and this was all that he had. So he was clinging on to the last good thing in his life, right? And holding on to it as much as he can. But when you have that kind of relapse, you know, and like that's, for me, that's what I thought. Like I thought about myself in that moment. Like I had, fuck, I don't know what to get real. Like I even had that moment in my life, you know, where I had something. We're close enough friends. People know that I had a girlfriend on my other channel, and I was clinging to that, you know. And when that ended, I went into a spiral. I relapsed on my problems.
Yeah.
Right? So when I saw this, I thought of that moment, you know, and I realized for myself, like, it hit home so hard. And that's hard for me to kind of admit, because we go to movies to be entertained.
Right.
We don't go to movies to realize personal problems about ourselves.
And I think that's kind of what they were going for in a sense, where they're just trying to show you that there is a way for you to come back from your issues. Mm-hmm. It's not always going to be, you know...
It's not an easy road.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't necessarily call this a happy ending in a sense, but it's more like, it's a way to...
This is the most realistic ending of any movie I have seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
This is the most realistic, because when he goes through that spiral, he loses his job. What's he do? He goes back to the bar. He goes to the one thing that kind of gives him that comfort, right? So he not only goes, but he makes the biggest mistake. He crashes into a car for some girl he's trying to hook up with, walks into the wrong house, cracks open a beer, starts pissing, and then he runs out of the house and then gets knocked out.
Yeah.
And he gets sent to rehab while the kids are going to the playoffs. So and then they even mentioned it, like they told him that Coach Cunningham couldn't be on the field.
Or bench.
On the bench today. Yeah, sorry. He couldn't be on the bench today. But they don't know what's going on. Yeah. And then he grabs the basketball and starts playing again. And that was the most realistic ending I've ever seen in my life. It was such a great way to end this movie. Yeah,
it was cool. I enjoyed that for the fact that, you know, he's doing better. But it seems like so much is happening in such a short amount of time, because I'm like, shouldn't the playoffs be over by now? This is like happening at the same time.
I think it was like a tournament. I don't think it was the playoffs.
Well, they said it was the playoffs.
I mean, semantics.
Yeah, you know, just little things like that. But it is what it is. But it was a great way to show, like, hey, like, I'm getting better and I'm picking up a basketball again, and I'm about to
I can become
what I once
better
and what I once was at the same time. But not going by towards the past, but looking forward towards the future.
I read this quote that my friend sent me when I was having a problem. And it was, inhale the past, exhale the future. Right? And that's exactly what came into my mind when I saw this ending. He's exhaling his past problems, and he's inhaling the future to become sober. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what this movie, that's what pretty much, I think the overall theme for the movie is to let the past be the past. Yes, we're going to have bad days. Yes, we're going to have things that are going to trigger us, but we have to find a healthy way to overcome it.
Yeah, find your way back.
I see what you did there. Exactly. but you have to find your personal way to come back from whatever problems you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like with anything, whether you're having a bad day at work, you're an addict and you're having a relapse of something,
Yeah.
and it's a very terrible cycle to be a part of.
Yeah. And like when you watch him talking to his ex, well, technically it's still his wife.
Yeah,
When
because
she
they're not
comes-
fully divorced yet.
Yeah,
But
they're only separated. But when she goes to visit him, and he starts to apologize, and starts crying in front of her, and she just doesn't know how to react. She just starts crying too.
Mhm.
And at the same time, it's like you don't know what's gonna happen for them, and all this other stuff, and
Mhm.
you're just like, I'm gonna get better, and hopefully one day you could look at me as the person you thought I was gonna be, etc., etc. And you're just like, damn, that hits home right there, and you're just like, shit. And
Exactly. And that's like like I said, this is like the craziest movie that I've seen in 2020. Because obviously there's been a couple movies that come out. You have the Harley Quinn movie and everything everyone's kind of seen, but this is a movie I think we all kind of needed, because we've said this before, like right now the movie industry is just swamped with superhero flicks. So having this kind of movie is very inspiring, and a lot of people are probably not gonna like it, right, because of how real it is.
or the fact that it's Ben Affleck. Not everyone's a huge fan of Ben Affleck, and that's okay. You don't have to like the guy, but you can make
His best movie was Daredevil.
You're poking at the bear, buddy. You're poking at the bear, and I'm not talking about me.
Best movie, hands down. Next to Green Lantern. But no, like it's just this is something that I think the movie industry needed. Like I think we should have more movies like this, because of like not only how real it is, but how just well it was shot. Like it was dark the whole way through.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a happy movie. It has happy moments, and you get a laugh and you enjoy some of it, but at the end of the day, it's still a real problem that we all have. Not all of us, but a lot of us deal with.
Yeah, you're right. And it's like, in a sense, I think it is considered to be a little bit of a happy ending, but at the same time, it's more of a realistic ending.
And that's like the best part about this movie. I think the ending was the best thing.
Yeah.
Because not only was it like, it was a true happy ending to Ben's story of how he's going to going to become sober, but it was a realistic ending, because we all know like life isn't like the movies. Like not every you're not gonna have a relationship like every fucking rom-com.
Yeah.
Right? There's realistic endings. Like another realistic ending was La La Land. Oh, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone?
Yeah.
Emma Stone's character, they ended up separating. Right? And that was a realistic ending, and then what they planned to do happened. Right? So we don't get a lot of movies with realistic endings. Because everyone thinks you're gonna have a movie, you're gonna have a happy ending, but that's not always the case.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just, this was a very interesting way to kind of end it, and I'd probably the best way. If they did it any other way, I'd probably think I'd not like it as much.
Yeah.
But how much, he is in a nice ass rehab facility, let me tell you. By the beach, cool down. He's on vacation. He ain't at rehab.
Right.
By the way, rehab is expensive. I looked into it. But okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate this movie?
Probably like 8.5.
I give it a 10 out of 10. Like I said, for me it hit a little bit differently.
Yeah, it's not like it didn't hit differently for me. It's more like it was a good story, but I felt like it not in a sense where it was too short, because it just flew by like that, and I think it needed to be like that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, but I feel like as far as I've seen stories almost similar to this in a sense, it gives addiction more awareness, and that's great because
Yeah.
we need stuff like that for people and everybody in general,
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but in a sense where like I feel like it didn't need to stick about exactly. I feel like you can have done this movie even without the basketball in it.
Yeah, no, I think so too. Like if they focus a little less on the basketball, if he was a school teacher even,
Yeah.
you would get the same kind of feel.
Yeah.
But I think like basketball was just another. I think they just want to put a basketball.
I think
movie out
it was the easier way out, in a sense where they could just
there. 64%.
84% on Rotten Tomatoes and 68% in audience score, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, then the media critic.
Yeah, media critic.
Yeah, that's about a 68% and 77% like this movie. That's Google users,
Wow.
and it made $14.7 million in the box office.
For being that sort of a time span before everything shut down, that's actually pretty good. That is it. It was a good story at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But do you have anything else to say about this movie?
Other than I enjoyed it, and I thought Ben Affleck's performance was really great because Ben Affleck, I feel like he knows how to do this type of role, given that he has his own demons to face in the real world.
Yeah.
Being an alcoholic and going probably in and out of rehab over the last God knows how many years.
Yeah, I think this was a very easy role for him to play.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think he actually used real beer, because if he did, that's
breaking sobriety.
yeah, right. That's some crazy shit if you actually just drank a bunch of beer the entire time, because he got pretty big.
Yeah,
He still got that Batfleck bod still going on, because he's freaking humongous in this movie.
He's huge. Yeah, for real. You know, I told Crystal that we're gonna rip on Ben Affleck because she loves him to death. So Ben, if you ever watch this, my work mother Crystal would love to have her fourth child with you. I'm just gonna say it right now. She's probably gonna hate me for it later, but it's okay, Crystal. I got your back. But I really don't have much else to say other than, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I give it a 10 out of 10. But you know what? I think that's all we really have to say about it.
We're gonna keep it short like this movie.
Ooh, hashtag ooh kill him. So, like always, guys, if you like this, be sure to share it. If you were listening on Spotify, be sure to look at the YouTube channel as well. That where we post it. You're going to be looking for that under The Hookahologyst. You can find us on Instagram and or Twitter. Look under _Hookahologyst to find this beautiful face on Facebook, Tommy Rodriguez. And then you're going to be able to find all the podcasts and the YouTube channels on our Facebook page as well under The Hookahologyst. Until next time, guys, keep smoking.
Keep smoking.
That's my line.
I'm gonna fuck.